Kind of early for you. Well, it's a little early.
Oh, it's not early. No, it's 9 o'clock. I was up at 5:30.
Ooh.
That's what time I get up. So
Good morning, Kelly.
hey,
You're on time, cuz. See, Kelly's still half asleep. Now, Chris, you didn't know you're one of the ones that inspired me, did you?
no, I was.
Yeah,
Is that what? No, I didn't know.
yeah, because you said if you want to do it in the room of your house,
Oh yeah,
and that
yeah,
was at the time that Hidden Heights Farm and that they were getting the quail, and Kevin from Hidden Heights Farm sent me my first batch of quail. You
nice,
know, and so it's between you and Kevin. That's why I do what I do.
nice. No, I didn't know that exactly.
Oh, did you see what Kelly said?
No, I
Here's the
didn't.
man, the myth, the legend.
Well, thank you.
Good morning, Buster. On here, we're kind of casual. You can speak whenever you want to. And there's Nikki saying good morning to us.
Good morning to you.
Steve blames
Oh,
you too.
yeah, that was my fault, huh? Got you started on the with the quail hutch build. Yeah. Well, you can blame me for all kinds of things. I guess it's all right.
I don't call it blame, I call it inspire.
Yeah. Well, blame, inspire, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, I got a shard of glass in my thumb
Oh
because
no.
my phone um fell yesterday and landed straight on the glass.
Oh no.
So I got shattered glass.
That's not good.
Did you get snow,
No,
Chris?
no snow. Well, we had some snow yesterday, but it didn't accumulate. It wasn't an accumulation. It was just kind of spitting snow a little bit. It wasn't super cold. So, um, you said you got a bad cold front coming in. Oh no. Yeah. Well, excuse me. We get below zero occasionally here, but it's not really. It's not been that cold here. I think we're high 20s, something like that at night, and then it's been getting up in the mid to high 30s or low 40s during the day. So, that's pretty seasonable for this time of year here. We did get snow yesterday, but it was just kind of a spitting snow. It didn't really accumulate, didn't cause any kinds of issues. So I don't consider that really snow. It was kind of it just snowed for a little while, but that was it. We're supposed to
Well,
get a pretty good system next week, though.
we've got snow right now. It's been snowing since 1 o'clock this morning.
Oh
We
no,
got about an inch.
that's not
And
terrible, but that's enough to cover the
no,
roads.
um, I'll have to let everybody know that I have to be off at noon today because I have an afternoon date with my daughter.
Oh, well, that's a good reason.
Okay, Chris, if you were to start over and could only have one, which would you do, the quail or the rabbits, and why?
Boy, I don't know. That's a tough one. Probably if I could only do one, it would probably be the quail. They're just faster, quicker. I mean, you can control how many numbers that you can get. You can't just twist a rabbit's ear and determine how many babies she's going to have. And the quail are just faster. You can really get a huge number. I mean, you can set as many eggs as you want. You get as many quail as you want. So that's probably where I would go if I had to only choose one. Thank goodness I don't have to choose just one. I can have both and don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that would be my choice probably.
Oops. Chris inspired us also to start Quail.
So, well, nice. Glad I could be an inspiration. Covered in desert snow and cold, huh? I'm not sure what desert snow is. I mean, where are you located?
Snow in the desert. He's in New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
That's Matt from Grassroots Branch Homestead.
Is snow pretty common there, or is it uncommon?
In the winter, they get cold and snow.
Hey, there's Aaron. Are you asking me if I have chickens? I don't right now.
Yeah.
I do. I do meat chickens in the spring sometimes, quite a bit. Usually every spring we do a batch of meat chickens, but that's only like 8 weeks. We don't keep chickens on a regular basis now. I've thought about it, but I don't see a reason to do it. I may, who knows? Maybe someday I'll decide. Yeah, get some chickens. They're kind of cool. I like chickens, but
Yeah, and put them in a tractor.
yeah, well, or I'd build a coop for them. I run my meat chickens in a chicken tractor, but if I had chickens, I'd build a. I mean, I've got enough land. I could build a coop and a little run for them out there.
How much land do you have?
Well, I've got. I mean, I don't have a huge amount of land, but I've got enough to do that with. I've got. I own my house, the lot in front of me. The front yard, the backyard, and then I own the lot behind me and the lot beside it. So it's probably, I don't know, what's a
So
standard city lot? Yeah, it's three fairly large lots. So
that's cool.
yeah, it's all right. And I don't have any neighbors behind me, so that's the other thing that's important.
Yeah, when you own both lots,
Yeah, I own both of them side by side, the one right behind me and the one right beside it. So it's really behind my neighbor's house that I own that lot, but there's nobody behind it. So I mean, there's a ditch that runs there, and then some old. It used to be railroad tracks at one time, but now it's just kind of like a walking trail type thing. And then there's some factories back there, but that's a ways. I mean, that's quarter mile. So I mean, it's like I don't have anything for several hundred yards behind my house. There's nothing. So, or behind my property line, there's nothing. So I can put a chicken tractor right up against the back, or a chicken coop, I should say, back against the back line if I wanted to, and don't have to worry about annoying any neighbors or anything like that.
Steve asked, does your
Yep.
town have restrictions?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, does town have restrictions on the number of chickens? They do. What is it like? I can't remember if it's 10 or 7. I can't remember how many it is. You can't have roosters. There's nothing in the code that says anything about number of quail, or it does have regulations on rabbits, but honestly, the animal code in Joplin is they're kind of laxed on it. Unless you're getting complaints from your neighbors, they don't really enforce it. And they don't really come by, and it's not like nobody's coming by and inspecting them. My setup. I don't even think the city knows I have rabbits or quail. I think I'm technically supposed to have a permit, but nobody's complained, so they don't care. I mean, they've been to my neighbor's house because my neighbor had some pygmy goats for a while, and one of the neighbors complained. So the city came out to her house to enforce the code there. They saw that I had stuff back there. They didn't say a word to me. They haven't been, because nobody's complained about it. So as long as I'm not annoying my neighbors, I can get away with pretty much whatever I want to do.
That's kind of like here.
Yeah, and I think that's most places. I mean, there's some places that are probably stricter than that if you live in an HOA or something. But
yeah, but living in my apartment, when I finally told my landlord, he was shocked. He said as long as nobody complains, he doesn't have a problem with it.
Right. Yeah, we've got the same thing here. Like I said, it's like Feather Connection says, ordinances are mostly only enforced if someone complains. That's how it is here too. Yeah, their ordinances are crazy too. It says fly under the radar. Somewhat. I mean, mine are out there. I mean, anybody could see it driving by. It's a little hard to see. I've got a pretty, I wouldn't say super busy, but it's a kind of a main road that runs, it's a block away. I'm just a little over a block away from that main road. We are kind of towards the edge of town, so it's not super busy, but if you're driving down through there, you could look over and see that I have hutches out there, obviously something in them. But I mean, it's not super easy to see, but it's there. It's not like under a tarp or anything hidden. So, anybody can see that, I guess, but nobody really complains about it. I haven't caused any issues. So as long as I don't, I'm okay. I can do, like I said, just about anything I want to. I just don't have to, as long as I don't cause an issue with the neighbors or, become a nuisance.
Yeah. The woman that called the health department on me that showed up on my birthday.
Oh, no.
Oh no, it was great. They seen what I was doing, and their only concern was, did I have heat? Did I have water?
Yeah,
Did I have electricity? Then they had nothing to say because I'm just trying to do what everybody else is trying to do.
sure.
Be more self-sufficient.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And
And
chickens are fairly common I mean, around this area. Lots of people keep chickens. Not so much. I mean, if you get down into, like I said, I'm kind of on the edge of town. So if you get down into some of the areas where it's a little bit more densely populated, Joplin's not a huge city anyway. But if you get into some of the areas that are a little bit more densely populated, you don't see nearly as many chickens. But it's not uncommon for people to keep chickens around here. And you're technically supposed to have a permit, but I don't know that anybody actually does. The only time that they would is if somebody were to complain, the city comes out, then they would have to get a permit and regulate it and all those kinds of things. But if nobody's complaining, they don't really worry about it too much. The other their ordinances are pretty strict. I mean, if you read through the ordinance, they're antiquated, they're old, and they haven't been rewritten. And I don't even know that they enforce them to what they say, because for rabbits, for example, the ordinance says you need 30 square feet of cage space per rabbit, and that's ridiculous.
30
30
square feet.
30 square feet.
That
But
is, yeah.
but I think they even know that's ridiculous. Even if they were to come out and see, well, you need a permit for this stuff, we need to inspect that you're keeping it clean and those kinds of things, they wouldn't enforce the 30 square feet.
Uh huh. That's about what you need for a goat.
Yeah, well, for a goat, they require, is it a half acre per goat? I think. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up again, but yeah, it's crazy. Grafted Branches wanting to know if I keep quail strictly for food. Yeah, well, yeah, meat and eggs. I mean, that's the only reason I keep them. I don't see any reason to keep them around if it wasn't just for the meat and the eggs. I mean, that's it. I mean, I like the animals. I like all the animals I raise, but for the most part, it's meat and eggs. The only one I keep that doesn't produce meat and eggs is my dog. So I know I'm not going to eat my dog, and he's around just for companionship. But the rest of them, it's livestock.
And that's what I try to tell people, the difference between pets and livestock.
Mm-hmm. And I want to treat them well. I mean, I like the animals. I want to make sure they're taken care of well. I want to make sure they're treated well. But they are, in the end, when it comes down to it, it's meat and eggs.
Do you know you can cold stream this if you wanted to on your channel?
Yeah, you said that too. I guess I could. Or do I just click the button that says that, huh?
Yep. And you'll have to fill in you got to give it a title
Oh,
and stuff like
I got
that.
to sign up for something or log in. So, yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get that done while I'm trying to answer questions and talk to people.
Okay. Matt's laughing. Do you sell any, or are they just for you?
Yeah, I mean, I sell some from time to time, especially rabbits. Now that I've got pedigree rabbits, I do sell a few rabbits from time to time, help kind of cover the feed costs. There's not a huge market for quail. There's actually a fairly high number of people around in the area doing it. I mean, there's always quail for sale somewhere locally, fairly local anyway, and there's not a huge market for it. You get a couple of people that will buy them from time to time, um, but I haven't found, like, selling eggs is not worth it for me. They don't go for, it's not a consistent market. It's not enough to, yeah. I see David saying that's why we live in the country, limited supervision. Yeah, I wish I could, but man, those places are high priced. I can't find a place that I can afford. But anyway, I do sell some from time to time. Usually if it's somebody finds out I've got quail and then they hit me up and want to know if I'm, to buy some or something like that, then I'll sell it to them. I don't typically spend a bunch of time advertising or putting it out there. I've done it before, and I've sold a few here and there, but I'm not not consistent enough to make. I mean, it's a lot of work for not much consistency, so I just don't bother with it too much. Sometimes I'll just drop a Craigslist ad, say I've got some quail for sale. If anybody gets them, then anybody gets the ad, calls me while I've got them before I process them, then I'll sell them a few. I usually I'll sometimes have like a local, somebody that's like one of my viewers that's local, reach out to me and want to buy some quail from me, so I'll sell to them too. But it's not a regular thing.
Well, I have a customer that I have 6 birds going out to. They're already processed.
Good. I was at one of our local butcher shops a couple days ago, maybe it was last week, and just seeing what they had. They sell rabbit and they sell quail too, meat, processed already. The rabbit was going for $7.98 a pound, which is pretty high. I thought, man, I need to start doing that. But their quail was pretty cheap. There was like 6 of them for $16, I think. So David's going into lockdown this afternoon. 115 jumbo white wing eggs. Well, good luck. I hope you have a good hatch.
Good luck and happy hatching.
Yeah, got that nice incubator to go with it. So
CB from Huga Homestead said hi.
hey, hello. 2 inches of snow so far for dawn, huh? Yeah, I think we've got a system coming through next week that's going to put some snow on us. I haven't even plugged in my heated water for the quail because it just hadn't been. I mean, it's getting down in the 20s at night, the high 20s, but it's not, nothing's freezing up. So it's not staying that cold long enough to get everything to freeze up. I haven't even plugged it in. I'll have to plug it in next week. It's going to get cold and we're going to get some snow.
No, everybody's saying hi again.
Yep. Hello to everybody.
Because you got Dawn and Huga, her name is CB.
I won't remember any of that.
And there's Mary Howard.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, it's okay. You don't remember.
Yeah, I'm bad about names.
If I don't remember, they get upset with me.
I can remember YouTube name, the sign-on name, but if there's a different name than that, yeah, I won't remember that.
Well, see, I have a cheat sheet for that.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, I guess. I probably should do the same.
Until I learn them.
A bird launcher, huh? I got a customer that was going to grab some egg or some birds for dog training, coming to do that, was telling you about a bird launcher. So I'm guessing like a big slingshot thing. I'm guessing slingshot the birds out there so the dogs think they're flying and go after them. So Swanson wants to know if I started planting my garden this year. I mean, somewhat. I don't really do a whole lot different each year. Last year I grew tomatillos for the first time. And usually every year I'll kind of pick something maybe a little bit different. But for the most part, it's the same things. I grow tomatoes, I grow okra, I grow green beans, I do cucumbers, some squash. Although I took a year or two off squash because the squash bugs got terrible. It was just a horrible problem with squash bugs. So I kind of took some time off that. So I grew eggplant last year instead of normal squash, which was okay. It did fine. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as much garden planning as I've got. I don't need to worry about too much.
Hello, Nita.
David wants me to keep the snow north of the Missouri-Arkansas line. Yeah, I mean, most of our systems go right down I-44, which is, on the Missouri side. It is north of the Missouri-Arkansas line, but, depending on how big the system is, it can impact both Missouri and Arkansas and Oklahoma and Kansas. So, most of our stuff is coming from your direction, though, David. I mean, it's coming from Oklahoma. And if I remember right, you're in Oklahoma. Comes from Oklahoma into Missouri. It's not, so it's your fault. You need to keep it over there.
Hello, Nita. This is Chris Carnes from Slightly Redneck, who's guest on today's panel. Now, she's got a good cooking channel.
Who's that?
Nita's Cooking Show.
Nita's Cooking Show. I need to look that one up. see. There we go. I'll pull that up. Take a look at that a little bit later.
Now I did get me another green stalk. I
Oh
caught
yeah,
it on sale,
yeah,
so it's blocking my hallway right now,
yeah. Those are pretty
waiting for me
nice.
to. Yeah, so that makes two of them I have.
Nice. Yeah, we grew quite a bit in ours last year, and carrots do really well in them. I always have a hard time growing carrots because I can't grow. I'd have to grow them in raised beds because our ground's so rocky and hard, clay. They don't do well just growing them in ground. So I'd grow them in raised beds, but that green stalk's great for them.
Yep. Yes, it's snowing right now. Who got a CB? It's good seeing you, Nita. Well, Matt, you have to wait till spring. That's just something you can't.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, there's a lot of things you can grow inside under lights.
If he got his greenhouse going, he would be able to start.
Yeah, or just like I said, lights, and you can do. I did some videos on crack key hydroponics. That's a super easy way, but you're looking at mostly things like lettuce greens, lettuce greens, some kinds of herbs and things like that you can grow that you don't need anything. You don't want to try to grow anything indoors that you have to take to fruiting, like a tomato or anything like that, because you need full spectrum lighting for that. Now I do have a couple of arrow gardens, which work pretty well for growing a lot of that stuff. They say that you can grow tomatoes in them, but I'm really kind of skeptical about how well tomatoes will do in
They're
that.
very small. They're very
Yeah,
small
it'd be
tomatoes.
like cherry tomatoes and in
No, they're
a
smaller than
container type.
cherries.
But
CB, Lucy loves the snow. In fact, this morning I was so busy when I got up, I just let her go run out herself while I took care of things. Thank you, Nita. It's
yeah,
nice
good to
seeing
see
you
you.
too. But she says no snow in Canada.
Yeah,
What part of Canada are you in? Because they should be getting, depending on where you're at, when you'll be getting it this weekend. I would say so.
tomato berries. Yeah, Sesso Swanson said that if they were smaller than cherry tomatoes, they'd be tomato berries.
I have you can't see it because of me sitting here, because the way I'm sitting, but I have
Cart back there,
that, that
microgreens.
cart. That's all microgreens.
Yeah, I grew some microgreens for a little while. I see David Lister saying that he's got two green stalks, putting microgreens in them in the cool weather. I grew some microgreens for a little while, but it just seems like there wasn't enough to them to make it worth it for me. Some of them I
Well, to
really
me,
like.
go
I
ahead.
really like the what's it called? Hang on, I got to think of the name of it. Sorrel. I like sorrel quite a bit. And it grows. I mean, wood sorrel grows native all over the place. So I sometimes pick that. But as far as growing a microgreen sorrel, it's just there's just not enough there for me. So I don't know. I don't bother doing it. It's like, and they're
Yeah,
not hard to grow. They're pretty easy. But even with a densely packed microgreen, it's gone in no time.
but you can grow as microgreens. You can grow like rye and wheat and stuff like
Hmm.
that too, and use it not just for yourself but also for your animals.
Yeah, like fodder. Yeah.
Hmm. And my animals eat more of it than I do.
Oh yeah. Well, I understand. Um, it's just I don't do fodder for my animals because it's just more work, and I don't I work a full time job. I got all kinds of things going on, so I don't bother growing fodder for them just because I can. It's just easier to do pellets, and not have to worry about growing things for them.
Right. Now with me, we'll say I give it to the birds and the rabbits,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes the egg yolks on the birds a brighter yellow,
I bet. Yeah.
a deeper yellow.
Sure.
I did a video, I think it was last week, on finishing off your quail like you do a lot of the other animals.
Mm-hmm.
I found out a way to get extra fat on the quail. If you start adding, like, along with their feed, you add oatmeal and either cornmeal or grits
Okay.
in with their feed. And
And do that for
oh,
like the last 3 weeks or something.
about the last 2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they fatten right up.
Yeah, I bet.
And that's like chicken fat. I mean, you render all that by itself. If you save your fat, you render that by itself, and you got a fat that's considered a delicacy.
Sure, I bet.
Let's see, it's pretty quiet in the room today.
Yeah, well, that happens from time to time.
Usually it's just popping like crazy. Ah, they're probably thinking of what to say next.
Probably. I mean, yeah, it's you can't expect everybody to talk all the time.
Right.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about yeah, rendering it's a great idea. Yeah, it is. The one thing I don't like about the fat on quail and things is that I mean, because it's mostly just the breast anyway, is the fat's not it doesn't marble through the meat necessarily. It's kind of on the surface, And I wish
No,
there was a way
yeah,
to get it to.
it marbles at the end of the wings and the legs,
Yeah, there's just not enough
and
meat
and
there to
and a
make it.
little bit. Yeah, I'm talking about, but it goes down a little bit down the sides.
Sure. Well, it's just like chicken. It's just chickens have much bigger legs and thighs and all that. So
Uh huh.
there's a little bit more there. But
But if you're grilling it or something like that, that extra fat gives you that's
sure,
less money you have to buy for
well,
bacon.
you don't have to add fat, right? Whether it be butter or bacon or whatever.
Hmm. When I'm behind my icon, I'm doing something that kids shouldn't be seeing.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Well, see, some of it is halfway is up the breast. There's certain areas that it really does. Like on the other side of the breastbone, the inner part of the breastbone will have a little layer of fat.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
But since I'm making a bunch of jerky out of this batch of quail that I processed,
I've never had quail
um,
jerky. Never tried that.
well, I'm going to have to
Is
see
it
how it
a
goes.
is it a soy sauce based jerky recipe or is it a dry rub
I'm going to use a dry rub.
and with a cure in it?
Well, it's got salt, pepper, garlic, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to use the one with jalapeno or the one with habanero or the one with both.
So does it have a curing salt or just regular salt?
Just salt.
Okay, so you'll have to refrigerate it and use it pretty quickly, or freeze it.
No, because just regular salt is good for curing. It's going through the
Well,
dehydrator.
yeah, I would still be skeptical though if it's not curing salt. To I mean, but there's no problem. You just keep it in the freezer and take out what you want to
Or
use when you want
refrigerator.
to use it. Yeah.
Okay, Matt's got a question for you.
All right. How do you like to cook your quail most often? Boy, I do it a lot of different ways. One of my favorite ways, really, I mean, there's two or three of them that I like a lot. One of them is I'll cut the breast meat off the bone. I do that quite frequently, actually. Cut it off the bone and cook the breast meat separately, and do it like in enchiladas or usually not enchiladas, usually more like quesadillas. Cut it in little pieces and season it with like taco seasoning and do it in a quesadilla. That's pretty good. I like to cut the breast meat off the bone and I'll stuff it with like not stuff it, but like put some either cheddar cheese, wrap it with cheddar cheese, wrap it with bacon, and maybe some barbecue sauce on it. Or another one I really like is to put blue cheese in it, wrap it with bacon, brush it with Frank's Red Hot, and grill it off that way until the bacon's done. Those are pretty good too. Um, and then I like to do like a basic saute with them quite a bit, which would be I'll take the meat off the bone. You could leave it on the bone if you want to. I just find it easier to eat when it's off the bone. So I'll cut it off the bone. Jerky never lasts long enough to make it to the refrigerator. I get that. But anyway, I'll cut the meat off the bone, lightly kind of dredge it in some flour, brown it on each side in a skillet in, some butter or bacon grease or something like that. And then, I take that out, make a gravy basically with some onions and things like that, and put the meat back in, let it simmer for a little while. And, that's a pretty good way to do it too. And that works well for all kinds of things, any kind of wild game for the most part. We do that sometimes with like tenderloin, like backstrap off a deer or something like that. It's usually pretty good. Throw some mushrooms in with it.
If I want to make my jerky shelf stable,
Mm-hmm.
I can run it through the freeze dryer
Yeah.
after it's done.
It gives it a weird texture though, doesn't it, on jerky?
I don't know yet.
You try it and see.
I'm experimenting.
So the rub you have, is it a commercial rub or you didn't
Yeah,
mix it
it's
yourself?
no, it's on the night bot. You'll see about drunken chef rubs.
Okay. So you bought the
That's
rub
right.
and that's what
Right.
it's for making jerky.
No, it's a
It's just
meat
for
rub.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I've looked for a good jerky recipe and I've had a hard time finding one. A lot of them are soy sauce based, and I just don't like soy sauce based jerkies. It's not.
Try
Don't care for it.
teriyaki base. Try teriyaki base.
Yeah, well,
A
teriyaki
little
is
different.
usually. Yeah, I guess it would be. I
There
mean,
you go. Steve just dropped the link for you.
Oh, dropped a link for me. Where? I didn't see it.
You have to see it in the regular chat room, not on
Oh, I gotta go to
Nightbot.
YouTube and pull up the
Hmm.
video, huh? All right, there we go. Pulled it up. Let's see, what link do I have here?
Drunken
Okay,
Chef
there it is.
Barbecue.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's just a barbecue rub. Gotcha.
Yeah, all of them are based with salt, pepper, and garlic.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what a barbecue rub usually is. It
Uh-huh.
makes sense.
But for QuailCon, I had one package of, because I experimented with a fish, you know?
Freeze drying it or
No,
dehydrating
jerky.
it? Really?
Yeah,
That
it
sounds
was the
weird.
first thing that sold. I mean, that's also, I don't even know who bought it.
Huh. So it turned out pretty good, huh?
Uh, no complaints, so I
Well,
guess.
good.
I know somebody asked me if I had any more fish, and I told them no. I only had one. Somebody already bought it.
I've never tried fish jerky. I've never done rabbit jerky either. I hear people talk about it, but I guess
Well,
it'd be good. I don't know.
you bought the fish jerky, Matt? I know I made some without any salt for Ed, because he
Hmm.
can't have salt,
Okay.
and he loved it.
Well, good.
Because what I used was Mrs. Stash instead.
Makes sense.
You bought the fish jerky? Okay, that's who bought the fish jerky.
Fish jerky sounds odd to me.
Well, they do it. They used to do it in the old days.
Oh, yeah. It just is something I'm not used to, so it sounds odd.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of an odd person anyhow. I try anything.
Yeah, well, I'll try most things at least once.
But on my rabbits, I will be keeping the belly flaps, and I'll freeze them till I get enough to fill up the dehydrator
Hmm.
and make jerky with it.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing that too. I just haven't done it.
But with the quail, I'm taking the breasts, I'm deep, and when I get enough quail breasts, then I'll flatten them and rub the seasoning on both sides pretty
Hmm.
thick. Then put it in the dehydrator. So, how do you like your new job?
Well, so far, I mean, it's all right so far. I mean, I've only been there 4 days, but I'm a data analyst, and right now I don't have access yet to the data warehouse, so I haven't been able to do a whole lot just yet. You're not going to talk me into ballots, no. That's one thing I will not try. But anyway, back to my job. I don't have access to the data warehouse yet, so there's not a whole lot that I can do. I've been kind of training a little bit on some of the just the business itself, because it is in it's a mental health care facility. That's a totally different industry for me, so I've been kind of training on that a little bit. But I'm just kind of waiting to get access. It takes time. They had to submit tickets to get me username credentials basically to log into that. Once I get access to the data models and the data warehouse, then I'll be able to. It'll be pretty busy, but the first week was kind of slow.
Okay, John, since you asked that, I got to ask you, have you tried balut yet? It's Balut.
I knew what he meant though.
Yeah, we knew what he meant.
Yeah, they did. I know she did. It was really good. That's probably the fish jerky, isn't it? It was really good.
Yeah.
Got it.
But the balut is pretty good. If you like Chinese food, if you like the egg drop soup, you'd like balut.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not gonna find out. Yeah. John says I'm scared. I don't know if I'm scared. It's just I'm not eating that. No, it's just not my deal.
No, John's scared.
Yeah, that's what he said. So Swanson says waiting for IT access is definitely a chore. Yeah, I knew it was going to be. It was always that way.
You know, the, if you're afraid, just think it like this. What if that's the only thing available for you to eat?
Well, if it ever comes down to that, where that's the only thing available for me to eat, I think I've probably got bigger problems than what I eat. But I would eat it. I mean, if that was all I had, I mean, there's a lot of things. If that was all I had, I would eat it. But luckily, I'm nowhere near that.
The texture is just about like having hard boiled egg,
Yeah. Okay.
Steve.
I'm going to take your word for
It's
that one.
it's the eyes that you have to work with. You have to convince what your eyes are saying to your mind.
I had I do a little bit of photography and a little bit of video work on the side every once in a while, and I've worked with a wedding venue, shot pictures of their whole wedding venue, put it all up, got their my business, Google my business page set up, all that good stuff. Anyway, it's a Vietnamese couple, or from Vietnam, and they immigrated to the United States a long time ago, and super nice people. So I was asking them about the ballots, and the wife, she didn't know what I was talking about at first, and the husband said something to her in Vietnamese, probably translating for her what it was, and she just made the worst awful face and said, "No, we do not eat those."
Yeah, but John, sometimes you just need protein and meat soluble protein, not vegetable protein.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I'd go for raw eggs before I'd worry about trying to do balut. And if I could incubate them long enough to get balut, I could incubate them long enough to hatch them out. And that's my thought.
I wouldn't eat dog. I would rather eat balut because at least it hasn't had a chance to consume one of its skin yet.
Well, I mean, I kind of have that. I don't like to eat predators either, but at the same time, I mean, I have eaten bobcat. I've eaten all kinds of different things. I've tried. Meat's okay. I mean, I'm okay with meat. I'm just not okay with. Yeah, well, squirrels are a rodent, aren't they? I eat squirrel.
So's
Um,
rabbits. Rabbits are considered a
rabbits aren't a
rodent.
rodent. Um, they're like something else. I can't remember what it's called, but they're pretty similar. I think of them like a rodent, but they're not actually considered a rodent. But yeah, as far as like mice and rats, I'm sure they're great. I mean, squirrel's just a big rat, right? And I like squirrel.
Uh-huh. CB says she's got all of her parts for a quail incubator set up, delivered. Now
Awesome.
did you get your eggs yet? Yeah, they're above the tree rats. The other rats go in the roots.
Yeah. So Swanson says they're just tree rats. Yeah, I like squirrel. Squirrel's pretty good. I
Well,
ate a
that's
lot
cool.
of squirrel growing up.
So did I. I love fried squirrel.
Fried's not my favorite. It tends unless you get a young one, it tends to be pretty tough. But there's I mean you can smoke it, you can barbecue it, you can. I like it. Like I said, that basic saute I talked about earlier. I like it that way.
Congratulations, CB. Did you go through Quail University yet? I got CB at Huga Homestead.
Hmm.
I got her talked into quail.
Good deal. Hey, there's Andy Rabbit.
Good morning, Andy. Well, you want to do that before the 31st, before your eggs come. That way you have an advantage, even though you know I'm just a call away. Oh, no, Andy. For
Doctor
your
office, huh?
dad? For your father?
For yourself? Says not her dad.
Oh, okay. I think I remember who now.
Oh, your husband, huh? Well, hopefully everything's all right. Saturday morning doctor appointment, huh?
Yeah, some doctors open up on Saturday mornings for people that work all week.
Yeah, well, I gotta take. I've got a doctor appointment Monday morning. You know, fifth day on the job, and I gotta be late to work. But yeah, it's all right.
Ah. Well, out of all those that have been putting off processing, I processed the final six last night.
Good deal.
Now, in about, I got to fatten up the next batch. That fattening up will start today. And pretty soon I'll be processing some of my male bunnies.
Yeah, I need to get my rabbits bred. I'll probably do that this weekend.
Well, I have to at least get the cages built for the grow out because they're 7 weeks old tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and you're coming up against the clock here.
Yep.
Are you're gonna build cages rather than buy cages, or
Well, I bought them, but you have to put them together.
yeah? I don't know which one. Do you know
They're
which ones you
folded
got?
up. I got them from the Rabbit Center. I mean, not the Rabbit Center, but just a minute. Let me get the link.
Oh, it's okay. Like
No,
Bass Equipment, or
no. It's ordered online.
yeah. Well, the reason I was saying that is that when I I needed to build new grow out pins for mine. I was looking for wire. I was going to build them. And then I got to looking at the actual pre-made cages. I bought Do More cages through Tractor Supply. It was like $10. I needed 4 cages, and it cost me like $20 more to buy pre-built cages than it did to buy all the wire I needed to build all those cages. So that's a pretty good deal. I mean, I'll pay somebody $20 to cut and bend all that wire. So I figured I'd just buy pre-built cages. It worked out pretty well for me. Was it KG cages?
KW cages.
KW cages. Okay.
Here's
Freezer's here. Good to see you.
Good morning, Yusuf. And what I got was the one for the medium-sized rabbits. Sometimes that's the time I go to bed. Wait a minute. There we go. But there's Diluchi. Good morning. I want to know if you ever got into button quail.
Me? No. No, I mean, I want bigger birds, not smaller ones. I don't see any reason to go smaller. I guess button quail are kind of a neat little novelty thing, but as far as from eating eggs, they're not worth it.
Well, you can put an exhaust fan in a window. And on the other side of the room, you put another fan that tilts up towards the ceiling. That way it keeps the air circulating and pulls that dust right out.
Yep.
Just type them up, Yusuf. And we'll put them up there for you.
I got about 10 more minutes or so, and then I'm going to have to head out. I've got some things I got to get done today.
That's okay.
But
we are greatly appreciating any time you give us.
Oh, no problem. Don't mind being here, but unfortunately, I got to do things.
Yep. And as slow as today is, I think I won't have a problem getting off by noon.
I'm waiting on.
We got 16 people in here, though.
No, that's all right. I'm waiting
We got a lot of stalkers.
Questions.
Yep. That's what I'm waiting on.
And so Swanson says appreciates my time and even more so for Mrs. Redneck sharing with us as well. You're missing my normal t-shirts? Well, I'm wearing Pink Floyd today. Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, no. They're not. That is great, Mary.
So Yusef wants to know about breeding rabbits, if I've ever done that in a more natural setting, not cages. Not really. I mean, I have tried sometimes whenever I've had some issues like getting a doe to breed or something like that. I've tried putting them in a, just a big box on the ground, basically to kind of keep them from running away. It didn't work. But that doe was reluctant to breed. So I'm not sure it'd be any different than just breeding them in a cage. It's a whole lot easier breeding them in a cage not having to take rabbits out, put them on the ground, and then corral them and keep them and then get them back in the cages. It's a whole lot easier just to throw the doe in with the buck and let them do their thing and pull the doe out and put her back in her cage.
So about in a pen, on ground, or something like that.
Yeah, I think I kind of got that addressed, but
Yeah. How long do you wait before you separate the kits from the mom?
it depends on the grow out of the kits, really. If I've got like I had some New Zealand whites for a while that were, I mean, they were growing out fast. So by 6 weeks, they're pretty big, and I would go ahead and separate them out at that point. My silver foxes grow out a little bit slower. They're not hitting 5 pounds by 8 weeks, or closer to probably 10 to 12 weeks. So usually somewhere around, between 6 to 8 weeks, never before 6 weeks. Never wean them before 6 weeks. And then usually somewhere around 7 to 8 weeks, somewhere around in there, I'll go ahead and move them to the grow out pens, and I'll separate out the bucks and the does at that point. You don't necessarily have to. You really want to get your does and your bucks separated by about 12 weeks or so, because then the bucks start trying to breed the does.
Well, Nikki, what happened to me is at about 4 weeks, uh, or 4 or 5 weeks, the doe did it when the babies were trying to get on underneath her to nurse outside of the cage. She just jumped away, stood back in the corner, like, all right, I had enough. I'm the boss.
Yeah, that's part of the weaning behavior. I think it's just
Uh-huh.
normal.
I know, but they're still together, but they're all eating food. Have you ever showed your rabbits?
Mm-mm. Nope. No, I never got into showing rabbits. So wants to know if they're in an aviary, would the rabbits dig like a wild rabbit? Yeah, for sure, they'll dig. Yeah, if you put them in a cage, they're going to dig out of it unless you have, under something down under the ground to keep them from digging out.
I would put 1 inch by half-inch wire underneath it is what I would do.
Right. At least, so far down on the sides. You don't have to run it into the whole thing. But probably 12 inches down on the sides of the pen.
CB, they are all eating regular food. I have to fill up 4 dishes 3 times a day, or they act like they're all starving.
Yeah, they start eating, part of the mom's regular food like pretty quick.
In a
I
couple
mean,
weeks, they start
yeah,
tasting
like
it.
like by 2 weeks old, they're out. And as soon as they're out of the nest box, they're going to start nibbling on mother's food.
Right.
So usually somewhere around 10 days old, somewhere right around in there. It's not a huge part of their diet. It just kind of gradually becomes more and more of their diet. By 6 weeks old, they should be kind of fully weaned at that point. But
I
6 weeks is kind of the magic cutoff. You don't really want to separate them from their mom before 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I had planned to separate them, but I'm a little behind schedule because of all the birds I had to process.
It happens. But when I
And
had the New Zealand whites and they were growing out to 5 pounds by 8 weeks, I just left them in the cage with the mom until 8 weeks and then processed them.
you could, but Yusuf, you have to worry about, are they getting all the nutrition they need?
You're talking about feeding them fodder, 100% fodder, and not buying pellets or anything like that. They're gonna grow out a lot slower if you're feeding them nothing but fodder.
Well, they don't. They compete for my attention when I go to feed them. They're almost falling out of the cage when I open the door.
Hmm.
It is comical. Mine didn't.
Grafted Branch wants to know, do I normally collect my eggs for hatch or buy? I mean, you mean, do I normally hatch my own eggs or do I normally buy eggs to hatch? I normally hatch my own eggs. I don't buy eggs very often. Once every couple of years, maybe, just to get some new bloodlines in. But that's about it. Yeah, you can. Yusuf's asking about. There's a website he says sells organic seed for fodder. It has multiple different types of seeds. I think it would make more of a balance. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, you could definitely get a balanced diet doing fodder, but they are going to grow out slower. If you want the absolute best grow out rate from your rabbits, it's going to be with pellets. Um, I don't know how much the seed costs there. It may not be that much of a savings for you either. It's just a lot easier just to do pellets. But hey, if you've got the time and you want to do it, then there's no reason you can't grow fodder and you can't feed your rabbits primarily on just fodder. You could do that for sure. You're just going to get a lot slower grow out rate from them. So even though you may be saving feed costs by buying seed to grow fodder, the time that it takes them to grow out to processing size, assuming that's what you're raising them for, you're gonna spend probably just about as much and a lot more time investment in growing the fodder over the course of time that it takes them to get to weight, if that makes sense.
Now, David wants to know if you have experience with Californian rabbits.
Yeah, California's great rabbits. I had for a while I had a California buck and a New Zealand doe. That was a great combination. The only thing that you run into with that really is, I mean, there is such a thing as hybrid vigor. So if you have a purebred California and a purebred New Zealand and you breed them together, that first generation that they produce has that hybrid vigor. You get great success. I mean, great survivability rates. Everything is fantastic. They're very disease resistant. I mean, they just do great. But they're not pedigree rabbits, and they're really hard to sell if you want to sell rabbits because nobody wants to buy mixed breed rabbits. You want to buy pure breed rabbits for your breeders.
Like mine are both Havana. I mean, all of mine are Havanas.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like the Californias quite a bit.
So I figure with just being a single person, I don't need 5 to 10 pounds of meat at one time.
No, I get that. Mary's talking about showing rabbits. Says when we were on the farm, our boys showed rabbits. Fun, but a huge amount of work. Yeah, and that's the other thing with rabbit shows too. I thought about getting into it for a little while, but man, most of them you're going to be driving, I mean, hours to get to a rabbit show, and it's a lot of time commitment too.
Oh, one of the lurkers spoke. Good morning, Bob.
Bob Cole.
Hmm. Well, you got about 1 minute.
Yeah, I am going to have to wrap this up fairly quick. Andy Rabbit regrets getting rid of the Californias.
Uh-huh.
I like the Californias. They're pretty good. The good thing about Californias and New Zealands is they're pretty common. You can almost always find them available somewhere around. Some of the other, I mean, it's, if you ever want to get into them, those are the two probably most common meat breeds around, at least in my part of the country.
You know what I love about the Havanas?
What's
Not
that?
only not only are they a compact meat rabbit, in other words, they're
Mm-hmm.
medium size, um, but they are so friendly.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
always a benefit. That's something you
yeah,
don't always get, especially with New Zealand's. New Zealand's tend to be a little bit, the does especially. Seems like the bucks, most of the rabbits I've seen, doesn't matter what breed, the bucks tend to be a little bit more docile, a little bit more mellow. If you have any problems, it's usually with the does. But the New Zealand does are the most neurotic does I ever dealt with. They can be a little bit crazy. I've had a few that weren't too bad, But many of them are just nuts. They just, you know, don't want to be handled, don't want to be touched. Don't. I mean, they just freak out all the time. And it is nice. So my silver foxes are pretty easy to handle too. They're much calmer.
We'll see with the Havanas, they actually come to the door wanting petting.
Yeah, my silver
Or,
foxes do too.
or they'll get the zoomies to tell you they want attention.
Yeah.
You know what the zoomies are?
Oh yeah. Run around the cage like crazy.
Yeah, like they're insane. Oh, Matt's supposed to get a blizzard Monday.
Uh, well, I don't know where he's located. We're not going to get a blizzard, but we are. We do have a
They're
front coming
they're
through. I think
in
it's Tuesday.
they're in New Mexico.
Yeah. So it's probably that same system moving across the country. Hit there
Uh huh.
Monday, hit us Tuesday. It won't be blizzard when it hits us, but
Yeah, but Matt is on a mesa, and Bob is higher up in the mountain.
all right.
And Yusuf is be getting what I've got right now. He'll be getting that Sunday, and it's going to be adding more Gulf Coast moisture to it. That's why he's going to get a blizzard.
Right. Yeah, I got to wrap this up. Unfortunately, it's a little after 10, and I got to get to the
Well,
bank, and I got to go. My phone is still being paid for by my previous company, so today's the day I got to switch it over to personal phone.
uh
So I
huh.
got to get all that done.
All right. You have a blessed day, and thank you very
Thanks.
much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always good to be here. And thanks for everybody that joined. It was great talking to y'all. And we'll see you again sometime soon. So take care.
He said he just got a dusting. I really appreciate Chris coming on today. What? Lucy wanting attention again. Well, right now it's snowing outside where I'm at. It started at 1 o'clock this morning. Let's see what it's doing outside here because I got that plastic on the windows and I can't see. Oh, so it stopped snowing already. It stopped a couple hours early. Go lay down, sweetie. Hey, woman of spirit, long time no see. How you been doing? Oh, that is sad. I can understand that very much so. Well, Dan, it's always good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, it seems like. In a little bit, I was going to do it in the slow cooker because my daughter's going to have her first quail dinner with me this afternoon. Yeah, I know that understanding. So instead of slow cooking my favorite recipe of the mushroom quail, I'm going to put it in the pressure cooker, the Instapot. So, Dan, you've really been blessed then. Your rabbits and your quail, your two dogs, and the grandkids, and the rest. That's always a blessing. My blessing is I'm going to see my daughter for the first time in about 6 or 7 years. And the hens that were on death row last night had left me eggs in the holding tote. Yeah, it is. I mean, we're finally talking again, and she's out of the bad situation she was in, and yeah, so things are good. Yeah, this is my oldest. No, they were evening layers, and the last bunch that I processed didn't leave any eggs in the tote, but this bunch did. Yeah, I was shocked when the last week I got a message from her. Yeah, but the problem is because that's one of the reasons why they were being processed. I had too many heads, getting too many eggs. No, she's excited about learning. I mean, about connecting with mom's quote hobbies. She's interested in learning everything I do. And I told her about my heart family, all about you guys. Well, it looks like you might get some freezing rain. Usually when you have fog though, you don't get rain. Yeah, Dawn, with that rain turning to slush tonight, it's going to be slick. Yeah, but with your humidity at 93%, you can get more. That's cool. It's about time. So in another 4 weeks, you'll be eating them, huh? It's my spooky hatch that I'm starting to fatten up. Okay, Lucy, come on up. Just a second. Lucy figures she has to say hi. Good morning, PJ. All is well, but if you want to see Chris, you have to watch the first hour on replay. PJ says, hi, Lucy. Yeah, it's me. My spooky hatch is the ones I have to process next. I got to check something, Lucy. Ugh, you got to let me get in here. She won't let me check my YouTube side. Huh. Why did it change to 21? I mean, from 21 down to 17. Ah, that's right. To me, it seems like Christmas was a month ago. Not quite a month yet. The spooky hatch is the eggs that the chicks that we hatch for Halloween. I knew what you meant, dear. And by the looks of how you typed it, I knew your hand was off by one key. That shows how long we've missed you. I didn't do a Thanksgiving hatch. I did a spooky hatch. And right now is when you should be eating the spooky hatch. Well, that's good. Good morning, Ken. You can always catch the first hour on replay, Ken. That's when Chris Carnes was here from Slightly Redneck. Well, today my daughter is going to be eating some quail for the first time. Yeah, Ken, we had Chris Carnes from Slightly Redneck, and he was here for an hour of it. I'm sure she will. See, when she was growing up, every time a new food came into the grocery store, we would buy one and try it. So she's used to trying new things with her mommy. Yes, today. Anytime after live stream. It is. It just makes me so happy. Well, thank you, Ken. Everybody, don't forget to give the thumbs up. I know she will, Nikki. I know she will. Oh, thank you, PJ. Oh boy, that has been a wild 2 months. Hello, Brooke. That's all right. You can catch the first part on replay. Now I'm going to let you guys talk amongst yourself because I have to answer a call that can't be refused. No, you're not allowed to go out yet, Lucy. I guess Lucy wants to go out and play in the snow. But it wasn't supposed to quit snowing until about 1 o'clock. With it not snowing now, that means the storm didn't last as long as it was supposed to. My lavender broken is getting so big. Well, I'm having mushroom smothered quail, baked sweet potato, and probably asparagus. Hello, Desiree. What news did you get, Desiree? Yep. Yeah, but see, I'm farther. No, you're farther east than I am. Yeah. So it's leaving me and going straight to you, PJ. Have a blessed day, Matt, and we'll see you tonight. Dawn, if you find out about the dwarf okra plants, let me know, because then they would be good in the green stalks too. Probably no higher than 2 or 3 feet. Okra can get to 5 or 6 feet. I can understand that, Desiree. That would be cool, Dawn. Yeah, well, bok choy is more hardy than lettuce. Have you ever ate okra raw when it's only about that long? It is really good raw. Just crunch it like a carrot. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to grow. If you get it when it's short, the shorter they are, the more tender they are. Yeah, that's true about bok choy. And so is cabbage and all that kind of stuff. You get a small exhaust fan that's for greenhouses. No, it's not spicy at all. Let me see if I can find any. Okay, Don, here's one for you. Let's see. Here's some more, Don. Oh, I better shorten that one. Give me a second. Here you go, Don. Here's a page that shows a lot of dwarfs that you can get. I love it fried because I can't stand it boiled. I can't stand it in stews. Welcome back, Desiree. Well, you know, if it grows too tall, you can always pinch the top when it's at the height you want. Yep. And you can always snip the top when you don't want it to get any higher. Yeah, $1.99 for seeds. That was cheap. Well, I tell you what, if you get a light bulb that's called sunshine, what gives you all the spectrum of the sun, and use that in your ceiling light, then everything in that room will have the light. That's the type of lights I use in the animal room. No, it's just like that's just like when they do oh, I can't remember the name of the trees that the Chinese do. And they start with a full grown tree. Bonsai. Yeah. So if you can do that with a tree, you can do that with just about with any plant. You can make it grow the size you want it to grow. Yeah, I just couldn't think of the name. Sometimes you know things and you just can't bring the word out. But that's what you do with any plant. You can trim roots and you can trim the tops and kind of control the growth. And they still have full size fruit on it. Well, what happens if you're only 10 years old and you have the same problem? Sometimes it's just that the file cabinets are jammed in your computer brain. I'm not, wait, let me get here. Yes, they're light bulbs. And it gives you the full spectrum of the sun. No, I haven't gave up smoking. I'm just not sick right now. That's why the camera's off right now, is because I'm getting ready to light one. Yeah, it's called, they're usually called sunshine. And a lot of people use them to combat SADS, seasonal affective disorder, whatever they call it. When I used to hang out with the backyard chicken group, I found one of those light bulbs and I sent it to a friend on there because she suffered from SADS really bad. And she was surprised how quick it helped her. Let me see if I can find it here. Ah, I didn't want that one to pop up. Okay, just a minute and I will be able to give you this here. Here you go, Dawn. Dawn, I just sent the link. They've also used it in some of the older versions of Living Traditions. And you know, with green stock, you can get the same kind of cover to make your green stock into somewhat of a greenhouse. Cattle panels and or hog panels and plastic, heavy duty plastic, greenhouse plastic is what they call it. Oh, we're down to 9 people. Yeah, you have to wait until after you get rid of that tree, Andy. That'll free up some room. So I'm down to one 3-tier cage of quail now. And like I said, in 2 weeks, I'll be processing 1 tier of them. My grow out cage is the bottom tier. Now that is a good idea, Jan. You may have to get hold of some rednecks and offer them a case of beer while they're doing it. That's right, Dawn. See, like I said, you got to think out of the box. Let's see. I didn't see that. Let me see if it shows up on here. Oh, Ken, it didn't do a link. Let me make you a moderator so you can drop that link. Just a standard one. You're not. Yeah. Now try it, Ken. No, but you might be able to talk to somebody in the Amish company that will be glad to do it for you. Did they tell you it was too big for them? Thank you, cuz. He has a dog that loves vegetables. Yeah, I think I've seen him before. Thank you, cuz. Yep. Now on the 10th, you guys just have to put up with me because I don't have any guests scheduled for the 10th. Lucy, too, she gives it a sniff and turns her nose up at it. unless it's been cooked in with the meat. That would be funny. Andy, have you tried measuring the circumference of it? No, Lucy likes the raw meat better. Now that's a good idea. Oh, you should be getting some kind of precipitation when the humidity's at 100 degrees. I mean, 100%. That would be smart, Andy. Oh, wow. I bet they would love that wood. What kind of tree is it, Andy? Yeah, that's because you're so close to the ocean, right? Well, Andy, you need to talk to Dawn to get that name. No, we're not talking about you being near the ocean. Ken Brown's near the ocean. You're in Missouri. You're way far from ocean. You can wait a little while longer before I let you out. Oh, people would love oak. No, you need to talk to Dawn. Dawn has a friend that owns a lumber mill. We knew what you meant. You have a blessed day, Buster, and stay safe. Wait a minute. Oh, wow. Hey, Moon Boots. Well, 7 minutes to go before we sign off. And we still got 12 people in here. You could wait 12 minutes, Lucy. So go lay down. All right, I'll go get one of the kits. Hey, baby. Come on, relax. I'm just gonna pick you up. Yes, I'll just pick you up. Yes. I'll be back, Mama. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. A black broken. Wait a minute. There'll be 7 weeks tomorrow. Now I have her out. I'll get the scale and see how much she weighs. If I can find where I've got the scale at. Well, that scale is buried, so I have to get the animal scale. I can get it off of grams. Hey, baby. 2 pounds, 4.5 ounces. So she's just about to weight. So I want to get her to 3 pounds. Now let me see if this is a female or a male. It's okay, baby. This one's a girl. This one is a girl. See a little bitty shell. Now I'm going to put her back with her mom, and then we're going to call it a day. Well, with Lucy here, Andy, I didn't want to take that chance. You have a blessed day, Jan. Okay, everybody, it's time for me to go. Everyone have a blessed day, and I'll see you Wednesday. And thank you for coming.